Good afternoon, students. So,
Afternoon, ma'am.
ask your friends to join fast because already we are running late due to not scheduling the class. Ask them to join fast. I can see only 17. Or only this much. These many students are attending. So let us begin with today's topic. So I will be dealing with the practical aspect. That is, the title is ergography. So this is one more practical. So this ergography, what it means? This is the practical which primarily depends upon the type of muscular exertion or the activity, and by which we are going to define the weight done by the muscle, and we can also assess the fatigue of the muscle due to the repeated contractions. So here, to record this work done or the fatigue, the one instrument is made, that is called ergograph, and this instrument was invented by Mosso. That's why that instrument is called as Mosso's ergography. So this is the primary thing we require for this practical to conduct. Then to record the time, we require the metronome, because we are doing this experiment, we are performing the activity at a particular interval. So for to record that, we require the metronome. Then kymograph, as I told you already, kymograph, it is nothing but a rotating drum on a particular speed. So we are recording whatever the muscle exertion, muscle inactivity, we are recording on the rotating drum with a certain speed. Then what we require is sphygmomanometer, the BP apparatus, then a set of weights. Okay, so these are the requirements for to conduct this practical. Before to start this practical, there are some brief things you should know. So ergography, it is predominantly, it is having the word erg, that is nothing but a unit of work, and we are measuring the work done by a particular muscle. So what is required is ergograph is the apparatus which is the recording of an ergogram, and it is first described by the Mosso, that therefore it is a Mosso's ergography. And ergogram, it is the word we use for the recording of the voluntary contractions of skeletal muscles of a human being on a moving drum, or manual or auto movement of the paper. And ergography, is done to assess the work done by a flexor of the fingers of the hand. And this is also performed to study the phenomenon of fatigue in a human skeletal muscles. So this is the brief introduction. So this apparatus, it mainly follows the principle what it is. The subject contracts the flexors of the fingers against the resistance using the Mosso's ergogram till the figure is fatigued. Okay, till the person feels the subjective fatigueness. This is the subjective feeling of a tiredness. So the first principle on which this Mosso's ergography depends, that is, the subject contracts the flexors of the fingers against the resistance. The resistance is nothing but a certain weight what we give using the Mosso's ergogram till the subject is feeling the fatigueness. Then the work done is calculated to the study the effect of various factors on performance. So we are calculating whatever the graph we are getting, according to that we are calculating the work done with the help of different factors which will be affecting that performance. This is what the ergograph looks. So the same instrument we have in our practical lab. So you will be seeing this and you will be performing on this instrument when you come back. So this entire ergograph is having the wooden table. What you can see is this is the wooden table. On this it is the mounted. So there are different parts. So wooden board, it is what you can see, this flat surface is a wooden board which is having two pairs of clamps here, two pairs of clamps where the subject can rest his forearm. The subject can rest his forearm on this wooden clamp, and there is a pair of finger holder here. Here there is a pair of finger holders for fixing the index or ring fingers in position. So it depends which finger you want to perform, because we are using the flexor of a finger. So if you want index finger or ring finger or middle finger, you can use according to your convenience. So this is for the fixing the finger, index finger or ring finger in a position, so that the person should not move his forearm with the fingers. Okay, it should be a placing at a constant position. Then a hook, it is for the suspending base. Okay. The hook is attached to a cord, is made up of a hang over the pulley. The other end of the cord is attached to a sliding plate which moves to and fro. So there is a hook which is having the sling, and the another end of the sling is having the suspended weighing set of weights. So it is in a hanging position, that's why it is called a hanging sling. It has a hook to hold it. So this entire thing is sling which is having connection to the finger clamps, and it is passing through this another hooks, and it is rolling over this pulley, and the another end of the sling is having the weights which are hanging in position or suspended in position. So this is the another end of the sling. Okay, so this is the arrangement of the wooden clamp along with the fixation points for the forearm, for the fixation point for the fingers, and here the clamp is having a one end of the sling which is having to hold this properly, it has some hook. Later this is passing through this clamps, along with this clamp it is passing through this pulley. Another end is having the suspended weights. Okay, so that what is the use of this pulleys, we can pull this to and fro, the sling we can pull forward and backward, to and fro, with the help of the activity of this flexor, which finger we are using. Then the sliding plate, this is the sliding plate, it carries a lever system to record the movement of the kymograph. Whenever the subject is moving this finger, meanwhile he is lifting the weight to and fro. Because of this movement, because of this pulling movement, the lever is also moving to and fro, and that record is recorded on the kymograph. And I said you already, this is the rotating drum. Here the moving lever can write over this. Okay. So the sliding plate is having a lever system to record the movements of on a kymograph. The other end of the plate is connected through a sling to the middle finger of the hand. So this is the entire sling and the sliding plate. And the another end of this lever is having a ball pen or any pencil or any color sketch pen you can fix here, so that it can write over those recorded graph we can see. So this is having the another end of this lever, which is having the ball pen fixed or the sketch pen fixed, so that it can easily write over the rotating kymograph. So this is the entire thing is about the Mossos ergograph. Then this is the metronome. This is the metronome to record the time or to record or to maintain the frequency of this contraction. So subject has to follow the frequency of contraction. He cannot randomly move the finger. He has to follow the frequency, and we are fixing the frequency here. For example, for 1 minute he should pull 30 times. Okay, so that could be the frequency for a normal work done. Okay, so usually what we do, we will not use this metronome. Simply the subject will be given instructions by the examiner or any instructor, so that he will be following that person. Okay. Coming to the procedure, what is the method to record this? First of all, okay, and we'll go back to this. First, what is the first thing what should be done is lay the kymograph on its side and arrange the writing lever to write a very slow moving drum. The speed of the drum is we are keeping very slow, so that it will not rotate fastly, and we can get the nice graph of this work done. And alternatively, arrange a spring loaded writing device or ball pen, the Mossos ergograph, and a paper on the platform underneath. Okay, so this should be covered with a white paper. The lever should be connected with the ball pen so that it can write on this. Then fix the forearm on the ergograph by means of a clamps. The subject will be asked to fix the forearm on this wooden plate. Clamp should be fixed properly so that the subject's hand should not move. Put the middle finger in the loop of the pulled and insert the index finger and ring finger into the fixed metal tubes provided the ergograph. Here the subject can use either the index finger or the middle finger or the ring finger. Here to hold the sling there is one hook, so that he can fix his finger into that hook, so that it is remaining fixed through into these clamps for the finger as well as the clamp for the forearm. Okay. Then adjust the subject position and various adjustable points in the ergograph in such a way that the forearm is properly fixed and at the same time the subject is comfortable. With the middle finger extended, suspend a weight here. Now come to this end, another end of the sling. So weight, normally we are keeping 2 kgs for male subject and 1.5 kgs for the female subject. So place, first of all we are placing the normal weight only. If suppose the subject is male, we are placing 2 kg weight. Suppose subject is female, we are keeping 1.5 kg for a female at the beginning. So this is we are calling normal weight. Okay, this is we are calling normal weight. According to the subject's requirement, the weight should be such that the subject must exert a real effort to lift it. So whenever the subject is pulling the sling on the other end, he should feel some work done. Okay, he should feel some exertion over the arm. Okay, so that the intention behind keeping the weight little extra is that. Okay, then we are asking the examiner or instructor to tell the instructions to a subject that he should pull the sling uh, one beat for 2 seconds, means after every 2 seconds he is pulling the sling. After every 2 seconds he is pulling the sling. Whenever the subject is pulling the sling, the lever will be moving like this and it will be writing over the chymogram like this. It will be writing over the chymogram. So like that, for a normal work done, we are doing these things, like he will be pulling the sling at every 2 seconds, means for 1 minute 30 times he is pulling the sling. Okay, then ask the subject to make a series of maximal contractions without moving the shoulder at a regular intervals following the beat of the metronome. Continue the contractions till it is so great that weight can no longer be moved. So it has to be continuously done. The subject is pulling it at maximum speed and maximum strength, and it has to be done till he feels the tiredness. It is a subjective feeling of tiredness, means till he feels that he is fatigued. Okay, till that he will be pulling. It may be 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Some people will continue to pull it for 10 minutes also. It depends upon their own capability of muscle strength. So once the subject is done with this, so ask him to take a rest. This is called the rest pause phenomenon. So subject will be taking rest so that whatever the fatigue is happened in his arm or in his muscle, so it will get rest. Because of resting, again the neurotransmitters will be generating. Again oxygen supply will be sufficient and nutrition supply will be sufficient, so that fatigue, as it is a reversible phenomenon, so the fatigue muscle can bring back to the normal functioning muscles. So once he has completed his rest after the normal recording, now there are other things we should see the effect of those things on a work done. So what are those things? The After the normal recording, we are going for the second thing, that is increased weight. Okay, now we have added 2 kgs for a male subject and 1.5 kgs for a female. Now what we are doing, we are adding 500 extra weight to this. So now for male it will be 2.5 kgs and female it will be 2 kgs. So we have added extra weight, that's why this parameter will be calling increased weight. So we are seeing effect of increased weight on a work done or performance. So same thing, procedure. After adding the extra weight, ask the subject to pull the sling with the same frequency. That is, after every 2 seconds, he is pulling the string. Okay. So now we are going to see the what is the effect of extra weight on this on the performance of a muscle. So afterwards, we are calculating the work done. After this increased work done, again the subject is taking a rest for a few minutes. Later, this we are doing the effect of increased frequency. Now whatever the extra added weight is there, we are removing off and we are bringing to the normal weight, that is 2 kgs and 1.5 kgs respectively. After this, the subject is asked to increase the frequency. Normally what we are doing, we are asking the subject to pull the sling at every 2 seconds. Now what the subject will be doing, he will be pulling the sling at every 1 second. Okay, every 1 second means the speed of this pulling will be increased, that is the increased frequency. 1 second, 1 pulling, 1 stroke, so that keeping the weight normal 2 kgs and 1.5 kgs. Then see the what are the things are happening, observe what is the changes happening in the graph, okay, ergograph, and how the performance is done by the subject, and at what time or after what time the subject is feeling the tiredness or fatigueness. Okay, so this is the third one. Then next is you are going to see another effect, that is effect of venous occlusion on the muscle performance. Here the weight of the muscles will be normal, that is 1.5 kg and 2 kg respectively, and later we are keeping the frequency same what we have done for the normal one, that is at every 2 seconds we are asking the subject to pull the sling. Here for a venous occlusion what we are doing is we are keeping the frequency and weight normal, but we are using here sphygmomanometer. So what is the use of this sphygmomanometer? We are tying the sphygmomanometer on a same arm which he has placed on this wooden platform. So we are tying that sphygmomanometer and we are raising the mercury column till 40 mmHg. We are raising the mercury column till 40 mmHg. So it is said that whenever we are raising the mercury column till 40 mmHg, it is causing the venous occlusion. So it is a phenomenon. So when we raise the mercury column till 40 mmHg, it will occlude the vein. So that effect we are seeing on a muscle performance, that is the effect of venous occlusion on muscle performance. So later you read the movements, you observe the movements which are recorded on a kymograph and calculate the work done. Okay, later. After this we are going for effect of arterial occlusion, effect of arterial occlusion on the muscle performance. So what is needed? Everything, every setup is okay. You are keeping the normal weights on a sling, okay, and you are raising with the same sphygmomanometer, you are raising the mercury column till 100 or 150 mmHg. When you occlude with this much pressure, then it is said that artery is occluded. So that is the arterial occlusion. Then you see the effect of work done and observe the recorded graph on a kymograph. So this is, whenever you are getting this question, you have to record all this on a rotating drum and you have to calculate the work done. So this is the procedure for the recording of work done by using the Mossos ergography. No worries, when you will come back again we will be doing this and you will be performing on your own. So again there will be revision for you people. So when you record, you are getting such kind of graph. Okay, you are getting such kind of graph. When you start doing the performance, gradually the performance or the amplitude of this work done is increased gradually. At one moment it is like a plateau. The height of the all amplitudes are equal. Later, when the person starts feeling the tiredness, when the fatigueness feeling starts, gradually the height of the amplitude gradually decreases. So such kind of graph you will be getting, and with the help of such graph you are going to calculate the work done for each parameter. What is that each parameter? You are recording for a normal thing, you are recording for an increased weight, you are recording for a venous occlusion, arterial occlusion and increased frequency. Right? Okay. So whatever I have told, I have written in this slide. We are studying the effect of increased weight, venous occlusion, arterial occlusion and frequency. So note down the formula or the calculation steps. So we are recording here work done, right? The work done is equal to force into the D stands for the displacement. Displacement means from this point to this point, how the graph is displayed, how the graph is moved this much distance, that we are going to calculate. So work done, it is the product of force and displacement. So the unit for this work done is not joule, it's not like what you use for the physics. Here we are depicting with the help of this formula only. So we are recording force into kg and displacement into meter if you are using this in a SI unit. If you are using in a CGS unit, gram centimeter. There is no gram per, it is a gram meter, kilogram meter, gram centimeter. Okay. So D, as I said, it is the total distance through which the load is lifted. So entire from this point to this, the graph is moved. But whenever you are considering this D, you have to consider the heights of the amplitude also. Heights of the amplitude. So again, how to derive this D? There is another formula, number of contractions into average height of the contraction. As I said, these displacement with the amplitude heights. So number of contractions into average height. Average height. Okay. So how this average height is calculated? Again, A is equal to area of triangle plus area of rectangle divided by the total length of base. So why this triangle and rectangle comes here? See, suppose you are getting such kind of graph. So for your convenience, convert this graph into one rectangle. See, here you can just imagine this is the rectangle and this another one is the triangle. So that the intention behind this is you are counting all the heights of the amplitude. You are taking all the heights of the amplitude and all the contractions. Okay, all the contractions. This perpendicular line is nothing but a contractions, or it is also called as amplitude. To count D, what we require is height of the contraction and its movement. So how this average height is calculated? Area of rectangle plus area of the triangle with divided by total length of the base. So if you put the values in this, you are getting the A, and if you put A values in this, you are getting the D. So number of contractions, count each amplitude, you count how many contractions are there. Then put that value in D, you are getting this D, and you put this D into this formula and take the weight. Suppose you are taking 2 kg, put the 2 kg. If you are increasing to 500 gram, 2.5 like that. So you are getting the work done. Understood? So we have recorded the work done. Meanwhile, you are going to count the fatigue time. So basic formula for the fatigue time is number of contractions into 2. Number of contractions into 2 for normal work done, then increased weight, then venous occlusion, then arterial occlusion. Okay. Except the increased frequency, you are taking 1. Why? Because we are giving the instructions to a subject to follow the metronome. Okay. For normal thing, what we have given instructions for each 2 second, 1 stroke. That's why here we have taken the 2. For increased frequency, 1:1. 1 stroke, 1 contraction, 1 second, like that. That's why fatigue time for the increased frequency is 1. Fatigue time for the other parameters are 2 with the multiplication with the number of contractions, right? What are the factors which affect the performance? What are the factors which affect the performance? Definitively age. So older people cannot do this much work than what the young adult are doing. Okay. And if you compare with the small children, they are also getting fatigue easily when compared to the adult one. So age is the factor which will affect this performance. Gender, it depends upon the physical build of a gender, like female and male. If you compare, the female are like they are lesser, they have a lesser performance, we tell, but depends upon the gender also with respect to their muscle activity or muscle strength. Okay, it is a biasable. Then height. I don't think that it affect much on such practical. Then physical build, yes, definitively physical build is mattering a lot for the work done. Then training, the trained person can prolong the work done. They will not feel fatigable very easily. Then motivation, yes, definitively motivational factor will affect the performance of the work done. If you motivate the person during such practical or such experiment, the person will enhance his physical activity and the fatigue will be prolonged. So these are the factors which will be affecting. Now the factors which affect the fatigue, definitively the degree of the work done and the duration of the work done, and along with that venous occlusion and arterial occlusion, these are the two factors which can cause the fatigue. So in mosozergography, how it applies, how it implies to the fatigue. If we increase the weight, yes, if we increase the weight, it increases the fatigue, or fatigue occurs early, duration will be smaller. If the frequency of contraction is increased, fatigue occurs early when the frequency of contraction increases. When motivation is given, encouragement, it will delay the fatigue. And what about the blood supply to the exercising muscle? Venous occlusion and arterial occlusion, it will accelerate the fatigue. It will diminish the fatigue, the performance of the muscle. Now, so since long we are talking about the fatigue, it can be a 3 marks question for you people or 5 marks of the question. So whenever you are getting this question, you have to write the definition first. So what is fatigue? It is, anyone? Yeah, you all are on silent mode. So fatigue, it is a decreased performance of a muscle due to the repeated contraction. And this fatigue, it is a reversible phenomenon, means once the muscle gets fatigued, if you give a ample of rest to that, it will bring back to the normal functioning muscle. Causes of the fatigue, the first thing is depletion of the neurotransmitter, that is acetylcholine. Next cause is depletion of the nutrients like glycogen and creatinine. Next is due to the less glycogen, less oxygen, the end products of the metabolism will accumulate there. Because of this accumulation, the person will feel the pain. This is the reason why the muscle get fatigue and why the person feels the pain. It is because there is an accumulation of the Lewis P factor. This Lewis P factor is the cause for any person to have a pain in the when he uses or she uses the muscle continuously. So what is this Lewis P factor? This Lewis P factor contains adenine, potassium and carbon dioxide. These are the end products of the metabolism. They start accumulating over that area and that will induce the pain. So this is a Viva question for you. Name one condition in which muscle performance gets impaired due to venous occlusion and arterial occlusion. So answer for that, venous blood supply to a muscle gets impaired due to thrombosis. It is always secondary to the thrombophlebitis, inflammation to the venous. Okay. And what about the arterial occlusion? So another example you can tell, arterial occlusion in Buerger's disease. It is a disease which is characterized by inflammation of the coats of the arteries. Okay, coats, layers of the arteries. Tunica intima, media adventitia. Okay, and usually you can see such kind of anomaly in chain smokers. Okay, so chain smokers, if you observe, they will be having such kind of features. We can say you can see such features. So smoking can be a precipitating factor for such persons. Okay, so this is about the Viva question for you. Once you're done with the procedure and recording, you have to write the report in this manner. You are writing your report, write your name, age, your gender, occupation, address, then calculate the work done, whatever I have said, the formula you use it. Along with the work done, you have to calculate the fatigue time. So you should write the result, work done for normal and fatigue time for normal, work done and fatigue time for increased weight, for increased frequency and venous occlusion. Then write your performance, means in which thing you are getting the increased work done or decreased work done or increased fatigue time or decreased fatigue time. So this is about writing the report. Doubt? Yes, I should get any response from your side. It's looking like no one is there in this platform. Yes. Meghna? Hmm. So you are having one more class now. So you have to log in it. I think you have got one more link. So that class is from the UGC Jeevan Kaushal committee. So I request you all be online and try to attend that class, everyone. Okay. So ma'am is ready with
Yes.
the class. Okay. Okay. If you have
Thank you, ma'am.
any doubt, you can ask. I hope you all are in contact with all your subjects. Okay. Now I think I will give you 5 minutes break. Later you can join with that link. Okay. Already the timetable is scheduled. You can log in with that. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Join that class.